Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bold and Beautiful today.
Sheila is devastated to hear that Luna has left, and Steffy lashes out at Bill until he sobs and accepts responsibility for Liam's shooting. Sheila lost another toe, and Poppy was relieved when Lee pronounced Luna dead. Lee believes her sister is in shock in the hospital. Poppy reiterates her gratitude for her daughter's passing. Everyone is stunned. Lee tells her sister that she is repulsive and pushes her into a room. Poppy is simply relieved to have her daughter gone. How someone so evil could be Lee's sister is beyond her comprehension. Luna was never going to succeed. She should cease acting like she cares, Poppy advises. Luna was a good kid as a child, as her sister recalls. She has good morals. She never knew her, according to Poppy. Lee is certain that her life would have been different if her mother hadn't been a pill-oppy sex addict. Even having the same last name as her makes her feel embarrassed. Poppy brings up all of Luna's transgressions with her sister. She was determined to destroy everyone's lives, therefore she's glad she's gone. Lee believes that by denying responsibility, she is making Luna into the person she is today. She would have heard her daughter's cry for assistance if she hadn't been dulled by males. However, she was simply too self-centered. Finn, Hope, and Steffy enter Liam's room. They assure him that he is the reason they are secure. They need him to continue fighting because he fought for them. Hope claims that they all adore him and are unable to let him go. Deacon tells Sheila how scared he was when he received a call from the hospital and gets her a drink. She loses another toe, they joke. He kisses her and adds that 8 is the ideal number for her. They can reintroduce toe biscuits to the menu, she notes. He offers to check on Luna himself and tells her that she has to rest when she tries to get up. All he needs is more time with her. He is relieved that they can move around. He doesn't know what he would do if he lost her, and things could have turned so much worse. She describes how, after making evasive threats, she found Luna at the beach. He can sense that she wants to assist, but Luna doesn't seem to be able to. Sheila claims that they have a lot in common. She shot Taylor and Brooke. She continues to believe she can assist Luna. There is yet time for her. Deacon consents to inquire about her granddaughter's condition. Before asking him how Luna is doing, Deacon locates Finn and inquires about Liam. They go back to Sheila's room, where she is making jokes about her toe with a nurse. Sheila expresses her concern for Luna to her son. After a period of silence, Finn reveals that although Lee and Bridget did their best, Luna passed away during her recuperation. Deacon hugs Sheila as she sobs. Carter tells in the waiting area that he called Wyatt but that he didn't answer. Taylor and Ridge show up. Steffy weeps in front of them. According to her father, Liam is a resilient child who will persevere. When she tells them that Sheila saved her life, they are shocked. Ridge reiterates that Luna will be okay. Bill arrives just as she is going to reveal that he has a tumor. Steffy accuses him of this and begins lecturing him. His own kid was shot after she warned him not to trust Luna. Bill refuses to leave his son even after she tells him to go. Bill has to visit his son, even if he knows they despise him at the moment. He's the last person Liam needs to see, Steffy assures him. They inform him that Will was shot by Luna. Bill is held responsible for everything by Steffy, who tells him that he might as well have fired the gun. Ridge claims that this will follow him around for the rest of his life. Bill acknowledges that he has dismissed Liam as weak and consistently failed him. He is aware that he was the weak link. Bill sobs as he says he must embrace his son and plead with him to fight. Determination is perhaps the one thing he gave him. My son must survive. Bill sobs. Hope goes back to Liam's room and pleads with him to continue fighting. They're not prepared to let him go. This cannot be farewell. It doesn't end this way, Steffy whispers as she joins her. Luna won't take their father away from their daughters. Bill is being kicked out of the hospital by Steffy. While Sheila Sharp was grieving the loss of Luna Nozawa, Steffy Forrester attempted to eject Bill Spencer from the hospital. Lee Finnegan drew Poppy Nozawa away and reprimanded her privately after she reaffirmed that she was relieved Luna was dead. Lee insisted Luna never had a chance with Poppy as a mother since she was a terrible mother in her eyes. But Poppy sneered at Lee's abrupt display of concern. Lee maintained that her niece would have fared better without Poppy's influence in her life, recalling Luna as a sweet young kid. Lee felt sorry for Poppy despite her tirade about all the trouble Luna had unleashed. Deacon Sharp eventually went to obtain some information about Luna for Sheila after making jokes about her running out of 9 lives. On Friday's episode of BNB, Liam Spencer was still asleep in his hospital room. Steffy informed Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes about Liam's illness and the fact that he had saved her life once they arrived close to the waiting area. Hope Logan informed Bill that Liam had survived the procedure as he rushed in. Steffy recounted how Luna attempted to kill her before Liam stepped in and claimed that Bill didn't deserve to be there. Steffy urged Bill to leave after he was held responsible for the incident by Ridge, Taylor, and Steffy. Even though Bill felt sorry for everything, he still wanted to see Liam and wouldn't leave him. Steffy stated unequivocally that Bill was the cause of Liam's death and that Luna also pulled a gun on Will Spencer. Bill was shocked to learn about the sting operation and insisted on knowing why he had only recently learned about it. Steffy persisted in blaming Bill, who expressed guilt for all the ways he had let Liam down. Steffy was still upset with Bill, but he wanted to show Liam how much he loved him and persuade him to fight. After Deacon located John Finnegan, the two of them went to Sheila's room. Deacon consoled Sheila as she grieved, as she had concerns about Luna and was heartbroken to hear that her granddaughter had not made it. She returned to Liam's bedside with Hope and spoke to him once more about how she wasn't prepared to say goodbye. In the end, Steffy joined Hope in their embrace, refusing to let this terrible Luna experience take Liam away. In this crucible of crisis, where life teetered on the edge of scalpels and ventilators, the fallout from Luna Nozawa's violent implosion reverberated through its corridors, shattering bonds and exposing the raw, festering wounds of family and failure. 2 scenes unfolded with devastating intensity, mirroring each other in their profound despair yet polarized by the nature of the anguish, Steffy Forrester unleashing a torrent of righteous fury upon Bill Spencer until the Titan crumbled, and Sheila Carter, the perennial monster, receiving news that finally pierced her hardened heart, leaving her utterly bereft. Down one stark hallway, a grotesque parody of Sisterhood played out. Lee Finnegan, her usual composure fractured by the night's horrors, shoved her sister, Poppy Nozawa, into a vacant consultation room. The door slammed shut, isolating them from the hospital's frantic energy. "Disgusting," Lee spat, the word dripping with venomous contempt. "You stand there, relieved? Your own daughter is dead, Poppy." Lee's eyes blazed, reflecting the fluorescent lights like shards of ice. The image of Poppy's chilling calm, her whispered confession of relief when Lee had mistakenly declared Luna gone moments before the final, fatal update, was burned into Lee's mind. Poppy, however, remained unnervingly serene, a chilling counterpoint to Lee's fury. "I am," she stated, her voice devoid of the tremor grief should bring. "Glad. Free." She met her sister's horrified gaze without flinching. "You have no idea the burden she became. The chaos she sowed." "Burden?" Lee recoiled as if physically struck. "She was your child. My niece. How can something so rotten come from my own blood? Luna never stood a chance, not with you as her mother." The accusation hung heavy, laden with years of judgment and unspoken disapproval. Lee saw the trajectory of Luna's life, the descent into manipulation, obsession, and ultimately, violence, as a direct consequence of Poppy's notorious escapades, her reliance on pills and fleeting encounters that earned her the derisive nickname Pillapi. "I'm ashamed," Lee hissed, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper, "to share a last name with you." Poppy's mask slipped for a fraction of a second, revealing a flicker of something ancient and wounded, but it was quickly buried under a wave of defensive bitterness. "Stop pretending you cared, Lee. Where was this saintly concern when she was a little girl? You remember her then, don't you? Bright, kind, morally sound. A good girl." Poppy's voice took on a mocking edge. But you never really knew her. Not the real Luna she became. Because of you. Lee shot back, advancing a step. You turned her into this. You numbed yourself with pills and men, deaf to every cry for help your daughter ever uttered. You were too selfish, too absorbed in your own pathetic dramas to see the monster you were creating. Lee's voice cracked, not with sorrow for Luna's death, but with a profound despair at the waste, the preventable tragedy born of Poppy's neglect. You refused every shred of responsibility then, and you're doing it now, dancing on her grave. Poppy's eyes hardened. Responsibility? Look at the ledger, sister. The crimes Luna committed. The lives she tried to ruin, Steffy's, Hope's, Finn's, Liam's. She was hell-bent on destruction. A ticking bomb. And now. A chilling sigh escaped her lips. Now the bomb is defused. The chaos ends. For everyone. Yes, Lee, I am relieved. Profoundly, utterly relieved she's gone. Her words were a cold tombstone laid over the memory of her daughter. Lee stared, aghast, seeing not a grieving mother, but a woman liberated from a nightmare she herself had nurtured, a sight more horrifying than any grief. Meanwhile, in Liam Spencer's critical care room, a fragile vigil held a different kind of pain. Steffy, Hope Logan, and John Finnegan stood around the bed where Liam lay, pale and still, connected to a symphony of machines that hummed and beeped with fragile life. Bandages swathed his head where Luna's bullet had torn through, the damage severe, the prognosis uncertain. Steffy, her face ravaged by tears but edged with steely resolve, leaned close. Liam, she whispered, her voice thick. You saved us. You saved me. You saved Hope. Her hand tightened on his limp one. You fought for us out there. Now you have to fight in here. Do you hear me? Fight. Hope, tears streaming silently down her face, added her plea, her voice trembling. We all love you, Liam. So much. Your girls, they need their father. We can't lose you. Please, don't leave us. The profound weight of their love, their desperate need, seemed to hang in the air around the unconscious man, a silent counterpoint to the storm brewing outside his door. That storm found its vortex in the person of Bill Spencer. Bursting into the waiting room, his usual aura of invincibility replaced by a frantic, ashen-faced dread, he demanded to see his son. Where is he? How is Liam? His voice, usually commanding, cracked with raw fear. The sight of him ignited something volcanic within Steffy. She whirled around, her grief and terror transmuting instantly into incandescent rage. Her eyes, red-rimmed and burning, locked onto Bill with terrifying intensity. You, she hissed, the single word a lash. She strode towards him, ignoring the presence of Ridge, Taylor, and Carter. You have the audacity to show your face here? Her voice rose, sharp and cutting, slicing through the tense silence of the room. I told you. I warned you not to trust her. I begged you to see Luna for what she was, unstable, dangerous, obsessed. But you, Bill Spencer, always know best, don't you? You had to play the savior, the puppet master, blind to the viper you were sheltering. Bill flinched, holding up a hand. Steffy, I didn't know. Don't, she screamed, the sound raw and primal, silencing him instantly. Tears streamed anew, but they fueled her fury, not weakened it. You didn't want to know. Because acknowledging it meant acknowledging your colossal, unforgivable error. And now look. Look what your arrogance, your stubborn refusal to listen, has cost. She gestured violently towards Liam's room. Your son is lying in there with a bullet in his brain. Your son might die because you gave a madwoman a stage, a sanctuary, the means to destroy. Ridge moved to Steffy's side, his expression grim. Bill, he said, his voice low and heavy with condemnation, this will haunt you. For the rest of your life. Bill staggered back as if physically struck by Steffy's words and Ridge's confirmation. The color drained completely from his face, replaced by a sickly pallor. His usual swagger evaporated, leaving a shell of a man confronting the unimaginable consequence of his actions. The dam holding back a lifetime of complicated paternal failures, the neglect, the manipulation, the constant comparisons where he dismissed Liam as weak while secretly envying his son's moral core, finally burst. "Get out!" Steffy commanded, her voice trembling with the force of her emotion. "You don't deserve to be near him." "No!" Bill choked out, tears welling in his eyes, a sight as shocking as it was heartbreaking. "I have to see him, my boy." His voice broke completely. "He doesn't need you." Steffy shot back, relentless in her anguish. "He needs strength, Bill. He needs love. He needs the last thing you ever gave him." Luna didn't just threaten Steffy and hope, she added, her voice dropping to a deadly whisper, forcing the final, crushing detail into the open. She pulled a gun on Will. "Your grandson." Liam stepped in front of that bullet to save his son. "Because you let the monster near them." The revelation landed like a physical blow. Bill's knees seemed to buckle. "This," Steffy declared, pointing an accusing finger directly at his heart, her voice cracking with the unbearable weight of truth, "is your fault, Bill. Every ounce of pain, every moment of terror, every second Liam fights for his life, it's on you. You might as well have pulled that trigger yourself." The accusation, "you might as well have pulled the trigger yourself," echoed in the hushed room, a verdict more damning than any court could pronounce. It was the final, shattering blow. Bill Spencer, the billionaire titan who commanded boardrooms and bent wills to his own, utterly collapsed. Great, heaving sobs racked his powerful frame. Tears streamed unchecked down his face as decades of paternal guilt, regret, and the terrifying prospect of losing his son converged into an unbearable tsunami of grief. "I know," he gasped between sobs, his voice thick and broken. "I know I've failed him, always, mocked him, called him weak." He choked, clutching his chest. "But I was the weak one. The fool. The blind, arrogant fool." He looked towards Liam's door, his expression one of utter desolation. "Please, just let me hold him, let me beg him to fight." A desperate, guttural cry tore from him, echoing the primal terror of every parent facing the loss of a child. "He has to live. My son, he has to live." Ridge and Carter exchanged solemn glances. The spectacle of Bill Spencer, utterly broken and drowning in self-recrimination, was as terrifying as it was pitiful. Steffy watched, her fury momentarily frozen by the raw, devastating spectacle of his remorse, a grim satisfaction warring with the overwhelming fear for Liam within her own heart. While Bill's world imploded under the weight of Steffy's justified wrath, another kind of devastation was unfolding in Sheila Carter's hospital room. Sheila, ever the resilient survivor, was putting on a brave, albeit macabre, face. Deacon Sharp, her unlikely anchor, handed her a drink, his own relief palpable. "Sweetheart, you scared 10 years off me when I got that call," he admitted, trying to inject levity into the grim atmosphere. They fell into their familiar, darkly humorous rhythm, joking about her latest amputation, another toe sacrificed to her chaotic existence. "8 is perfect," Deacon declared with forced cheerfulness, leaning in to kiss her. Sheila managed a weak smile. "Silver lining? We can put the toe cookies back on the menu." Her attempt at normalcy was fragile. When she tried to shift, to get up, Deacon gently restrained her. Whoa. You need rest. Doctor's orders. I'll go check on Luna myself. Just, give me another minute with you." His voice softened, the bravado fading to reveal genuine, profound fear. "I'm just so damn glad we can joke. Could have been so much worse. Don't know what I'd do if I lost you." The vulnerability in his admission hung in the air. Sheila squeezed his hand, her own mask slipping slightly. "I had to find her, Deacon," she explained, her voice losing its brittle edge. "After she made those threats, vague but chilling. I tracked her to the beach. Deacon nodded, understanding her compulsion, even if he disagreed with its target. I get you want to help her, Sheila. But Luna, she seems. He struggled for the right word, settling on, beyond reach. Sheila's eyes flashed with a fervent, almost desperate conviction. We were alike, Deacon, she insisted, invoking her own dark history like a twisted justification. I shot Brooke. I shot Taylor. I was lost, consumed by darkness. But people, you didn't give up on me. Not completely. It's not too late for her. I know it. Her plea was raw, imbued with a yearning for redemption through saving another lost soul, a granddaughter whose darkness mirrored her own. Reluctantly, Deacon agreed to seek an update on Luna. He found Finn near the nurse's station, his expression grim. After a brief, tense exchange about Liam's critical condition, Deacon asked the question Sheila desperately needed answered, and Luna? How is she? Finn hesitated, the burden of delivering unbearable news settling heavily on his shoulders. He led Deacon back to Sheila's room in silence. They found Sheila attempting her dark humor again, joking with a nurse about her missing toe, a brittle facade of normalcy. Finn. Sheila's face lit with a flicker of hope as they entered, instantly replaced by apprehension at his somber demeanor. What is it? Luna. Sheila's voice wavered, the bravado vanishing. Finn stood silent for a long, agonizing moment, unable to meet her eyes, the weight of the words crushing him. Finally, he forced them out, his voice low and heavy. Mom. Lee and Bridget, they did everything they could. Everything. But Luna, she didn't make it. She died in recovery. The words landed with the force of a physical blow. The carefully constructed facade Sheila Carter had maintained, the jokes, the bravado, the desperate hope, shattered instantly. All the color drained from her face. Her breath hitched, a small, wounded sound escaping her lips before her face crumpled. A wail of pure, unadulterated anguish tore from her throat, a sound so raw and full of despair it seemed to vibrate the very walls. The grandmother, the woman who saw her own reflection in Luna's torment, the figure who believed redemption lay in saving this lost girl, collapsed inward. She buried her face in her hands, her shoulders shaking violently with the force of her sobs. Deacon moved instantly, wrapping his arms around her, holding her trembling form as she shattered against him. No, 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 she gasped between sobs, the denial futile against the crushing finality. My granddaughter. I was supposed to save her. The devastation was absolute, a profound loss that cut deeper than any bullet or blade ever could. Sheila Carter, the woman who had inflicted so much pain, was finally consumed by it, weeping for the lost girl she couldn't reach and the twisted legacy that claimed her. In that moment, amidst the sterile hospital sheets and the scent of antiseptic, the monster wept, and the sound was purely, devastatingly human. Back in the waiting room, the echo of Bill's sobs had subsided into a choked silence, punctuated only by his ragged breathing. Steffy stood rigid, her confrontation leaving her drained yet resolute.